Merry Christmas, friends in Artland. Welcome to the Sebduke Show. The show where we talk about art marketing and mindset. My name is Sebduke, and I'm an artist and art marketing consultant. And I'm here to help artists like you market your art better to reach the right audience and enhance your mindset in order to become more productive and efficient in whatever tasks you tackle. Twice a week, I bring you inspiring and practical advice to help guide you on your path to artistic greatness. And I do this because I truly believe that all art deserves to be seen, and that starts with yours. Monday episodes are for mindset advice to start your week right. Friday episodes are for art marketing advice so you can start your weekend with fresh ideas to work on. Now we're about to start episode 21. The 6 Instagram mistakes you shouldn't be making. But first, I want to take a moment to wish you a Merry Christmas if you happen to celebrate Christmas. I do, and I happen to love Christmas. I love Christmas music, I love Christmas decorations, I love Christmas trees, I love Christmas movies. Like, I have no issue listening to Christmas music all year long. I just find it so happy and cheerful. Love it. But you know what? This year it's kind of a different Christmas. I don't know if you can be with your family. Here in Canada, I can't be with mine. They're in Montreal, I'm in Toronto. And due to this little thing called a pandemic, I don't want to risk being infected during the 6-hour drive between Toronto and Montreal. I mean, I would have to stop for gas and go to the washroom a few times during the ride, and with a lot of people transiting through those locations because they would also be traveling to be with their family, I just don't want to risk it. I don't want to be the one bringing COVID along with me and infecting everyone, my family included, and as I told my mom, I just don't want to be the one who brings the family down. But hey, it's Christmas, and you know, I feel like giving you a gift, but it's also going to be giving myself a gift, and you'll see why. It's a Christmas gift to you because I'm going to be explaining to you the 6 stupid mistakes that, when I do one-on-one consults with artists, I just can't believe I'm getting paid to tell you guys this. So hopefully they're mistakes that when you hear them, you can fix them so that when you do book a coaching session, we don't have to spend the first 15 minutes fixing basic mistakes that you're making. It's my Christmas gift to you, but it's a Christmas gift to me too, because it allows me to get these things out of my system and hopefully not have to repeat them as much when you do book a coaching session. When I do a one-on-one consult, prior to the actual session, I will spend some time studying the account in order to see what we're working with. Usually that's going to give me a pretty good idea of who you are, where you're coming from, what your level of aptitude is when it comes down to basic Instagram literacy. And today, I just want to address some of the basic mistakes that I see that I guess I shouldn't be seeing. So let's just jump right into it. Mistake number 1. Your profile is set to private, and then you wonder why your Instagram account isn't growing. If your profile is set to private, it means that only people that you have pre-approved can see your posts. But prior to being approved by you, they have no idea what it is you're posting. I mean, when your profile is private, people who click on your profile and visit it for the first time will just see a private icon. They will not see what's on your grid. So, if all they see is nothing, why would they even want to send you a request? Maybe you create the best art in the world, but there's just no way for anyone to know, so there's no way for you to grow. On top of that, if your profile is set to private, your posts will not be discoverable, they won't be ranking on hashtags, you won't be discoverable in the Explore page, so there's just no way for you to grow. So first, stupid mistake I see, if your account is set on private, there's no way you can grow, so please make your account public. Mistake number 2, not leveraging captions. I know I talk about this all the time, but it's probably one of the biggest mistakes I see. When people only write basic information in their captions, like the name of their piece, the size, and the price. Like, what are people supposed to do with that information when they read it? It's so cold, so distant, so uninformative, and so low effort. It doesn't help people fall in love with your art, and it doesn't help people fall in love with you. In order for people to care for your art, they gotta care for you first, and that starts with what you write in your captions. So you gotta do some storytelling in your captions. And if you don't know what to write in your captions, I suggest you go back and listen to episode 11, where I talk about the 4 pillars of content creation. It's definitely going to help you with writing better captions, and it's going to help you avoid making stupid mistake number 2. Mistake number 3, being too attached to a specific grid format. Now, I understand that since we're artists, we like to have an aesthetically pleasing feed, but I see some people who, because they want their feed to look so good, they're going to organize their feed following a specific grid format. Like, for instance, always putting up posts in multiples of 3s so that they will have a specific color theme along the same horizontal line, which people will see when they visit their page. Now, while that looks great on paper or on grid, this really hurts you, because if you want to always maintain that same aesthetic grid look, 3 similar posts per horizontal line, you need to put up 3 posts at once, because then if you don't, then your grid is gonna look out of whack. So it forces you to become a slave to your grid, and that's horrible, because you gotta plan for 3 posts in a row. You gotta plan for 3 similar visuals. You gotta plan for 3 captions, and that can be heavy. That can be extremely taxing. Plus, on top of that, in order to respect your grid format, you gotta put up those 3 posts in a row, one after the other, at the same time. So, chances are that your followers are not going to interact with all 3 of your posts when you put them up. They might interact with 1 or 2 tops if the visuals and the captions are really good. But you won't have an equal chance at top engagement on all 3 posts. So you're going to end up torpedoing yourself by essentially spamming your followers. If they see all 3 of your posts in a row in their feed, do you think they're going to care for each post equally? Or is it possible that they'll take a look at the first, then scroll by the second and the third, if Instagram actually shows all 3 posts to them? So really, horrible idea. But even worse is when people will take a piece of art that they created and cut it up into sections in order to post it section by section in the right order, which will make the image look bigger when you see it in the grid format. I'm sure you've seen these posts where, say, instead of posting 1 image of a square painting, the image gets cut up in 9 portions, and then each portion of that image gets posted in the right order, so that when you take a look at the person's grid, the 9 portions stitched up together will end up creating a large image composed of 9 squares, so 3 by 3. It just makes the image look bigger when you see it on the grid. That's a horrible idea, and I'll tell you why. While maybe you think it looks great, and it does, you're shooting yourself in the foot so much. Say your painting is square, so you have to publish 9 individual posts. Now, all of them are individual posts, but you're not showing the full painting in people's feed. They're just showing up as a portion in their feed. So say that square artwork that you're cutting up in 9 portions. If there's a woman's head on it, well, one portion's going to be a chin. One portion is going to be an eye and a nose. Another portion is going to be like an ear and hair. So how can you expect followers to engage with those posts when they show up in their feed? When you put up a post, you blast them with 9 sections of a painting. No one's going to want to engage with half an eye and a nose. So you completely kill any chance at any engagement. And without any engagement, no one's going to want to click on your profile to look at your grid. You're not going to be discoverable. So what's the pointing of having a grid that looks great if no one's ever going to see it? And then on top of that, afterwards, you always gotta think in multiples of 3s when you're putting up individual posts, because if you don't, then it's gonna put your alignment out of whack on your grid. So afterwards, you always gotta post in multiples of 3s. And once again, you become a slave to that horrible idea that brings you no results. And it makes you go, why does no one follow me? I have such a beautiful grid. Well, that's why. So yeah, horrible, horrible, horrible idea. Now, if that's a kind of grid that you curate, I understand where you're coming from, but please consider ditching it and just going for individual posts that look good. That's what's going to help you the most. So there you go. Stupid mistake. Number 3, being too attached to a specific grid format. Mistake number 4, posting personal photos on your art feed. I don't want to see pictures of your personal life interwoven with art-related posts. The only reason to put up pictures of your kids or your pets or your family is if it serves a purpose along with your art, if it fits your narrative, if it fits the story that you're telling as an artist. For instance, I've never posted a picture of my girlfriend on Instagram, but if I were to do that, I wouldn't just upload a picture of her without any context. I wouldn't only upload a picture of her and me without any context. If I were to post a picture of her, it would have to serve a specific purpose. It would have to be with the purpose of introducing her to my followers so they get to know who she is and what she represents in my life. I'd say something along the lines of like, hey guys, just wanted to introduce you to Danielle. Now you never see her face, but she is my muse and does a lot of work behind the scenes, blah, 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 blah. So if you are curating an art feed, you're not posting for your friends. You're posting to get potential customers. You're posting to get people to care for what you do. So please treat your feed as such. Now, if you want to put up personal pictures on Instagram for your friends and family, you're allowed to have 2 Instagram accounts, one for business and one for your personal posts. That's totally fine, but keep things separate. Stupid mistake number 4, I don't want to see any personal pictures that don't serve a purpose. Mistake number 5, following too many people. If I see that you're following like 5,000 people, I know that you're not following those 5,000 people because you're genuinely interested in what those 5,000 people or brands do. Come on, I don't even think that I can name 5,000 people between personal connections, professional connections, artists, movie stars. You can't tell me that you genuinely care for 5,000 individual accounts. No way. We both know that the reason why you follow all these accounts is that you started following them hoping that they would follow you back. And maybe some of them did, not all of them, but you don't want to unfollow them. Because then if they actually do follow you and they notice that you unfollowed them, then they'll unfollow you too, and you don't want to lose them as a follower. And if that's all that your relationship is based on, not unfollowing someone so that they won't unfollow you, I promise you that's not someone who cares for what you do. That's not someone who's going to purchase your art one day. That is a follower that is completely worthless to you, so go ahead and unfollow everyone you don't care for. If, when they post, it doesn't bring you joy, just unfollow them. And you know what? If you do that and you only follow people you enjoy following, you're actually going to enjoy being on Instagram way more. Your feed is only going to show you posts that you genuinely care for. And there's tremendous value in having a feed that is enjoyable for you. So yeah, mistake number 5, following too many people. Mistake number 6, not using hashtags properly. First of all, if you don't use hashtags, your content is going to be hard to be discoverable. You're allowed up to 30 hashtags per post, so make sure you use at least a few ones every time you post. Kind of another mistake I see, sometimes people only use basic hashtags like hashtag art, hashtag artwork. These hashtags have been used hundreds of millions of times, and I'm not exaggerating. So by the time your post goes up when you use those hashtags, it's already been buried under hundreds of other ones because those hashtags are being used so much every second that passes. Please don't always reuse the same hashtags every single post. I know it's easier to do, but it's not doing you any service. If you always use the same hashtags every time you post, Instagram will start not showing your posts in hashtags. Why not? Because that's what spammers do. And Instagram is very, very, very anti-spammers. They deploy a lot of efforts to try to curb spammy behavior. And believe me, I know it's so much easier to just copy-paste the same hashtags every time you put up a post, but it could actually be hurting your growth. So what you want to do instead is find hashtags that haven't been used too many times but are hyper-specific to what it is you do. Like instead of hashtag abstract art, which has been used millions of times, try hashtag abstract art IG, which has been used less and will increase the likelihood that your post will be discovered. So mistake number 6, not using hashtags properly. So there you go. 6 mistakes you shouldn't be doing. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I wish you a very Merry Christmas. If you got some money for Christmas and you're looking to spend it on something nice for yourself, consider getting one of my books on art marketing. It will really help you get your art seen and noticed and cared for by more people. Just check the show notes or head over to sebduke.com and visit the store section. You'll see all the books that I have available for sale. Alright, this is where I sign off for today. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you make today a great day. Make sure your art gets seen by as many people as possible, and I'll talk to you soon.